Thank you for joining us tonight, too. We're getting into some incredible, astonishing, disgusting stories here tonight. There are more photos, hundreds of them, that have been found. Authorities say they are linked to a teacher who is charged with lewd acts upon Los Angeles area school children. How can so many people know so much, yet seem to know nothing? That's the question parents and others are asking as they grapple with this. And now a love letter has surfaced. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that so quaint? A love letter to a third grader by an adult. Watch this. First it was one educator, then two, now three accused of vile behavior, all at LA's Miramonte Elementary. Tonight, new reports that a teacher's aide sent love letters to an 11-year-old boy and nothing was done. This as officials replaced the entire staff because of two other teachers' charges. Mark Berndt allegedly blindfolded and photographed students in sickening bondage poses. Martin Bernard Springer is accused of fondling students at this school. Think it's an isolated incident? Think again. Clear across the country, a teacher's aide in New York is accused of making child pornography. What's going on? School is supposed to be a safe haven for our kids. Here, it looks more like a safe haven for predators. Who is watching? What about your kids? Are they safe? So was there some sort of endemic failure of the administration? Was there a culture of silence involved? Was it the administration above this school that was guilty in some way? Here to discuss the impact, Jacqueline Hurtado, CNN Espanol reporter. She has been speaking with parents and their children since the story broke. And Keith Davidson, who represents three of the students who teacher Mark Berndt allegedly photographed in just awful, awful situations. Jacqueline, I'm going to go out to you first. What's the general feeling in the community? How is this working out?
Dr. Drew, the people here in this community are outraged. They still don't know why the school never notified the parents that this was going on, especially when they were investigating these accusations for a year, and they want to know why the school never said anything. Last week, I had a chance to talk to a lot of these parents. They were furious. They wanted answers, especially because these kids, they're trying to learn English, and a lot of these parents were saying that they put all their trust in these teachers here, and they just don't know why something like that would have happened in this school and nobody notified them.
Jacqueline, do people feel that in any way, because it's a minority, underserved, socioeconomically distressed environment, that they have been the ones singled out for such torture?
Yeah, a lot of the parents have expressed that feeling. They said if this was happening on the west side of town, this would have not happened, or they would have tried to find a solution right away. And they said just because this is a minority community, a lot of the people who live here are immigrants, and a lot of the people here don't speak English. They feel that they're victims, and that's why this happened for so long. I know that a lot of the parents also have said just because they can't communicate with the teachers, that's no excuse for the authorities not to tell them what was going on in this school, especially when they put all their trust here at the school. And something that's also interesting to mention is that in the Hispanic culture, they see the teacher as parents, so they put all the trust in these teachers. So if a teacher were to grab or hug a child, they wouldn't really put too much attention because that's kind of part of the culture. But now they're realizing that teachers shouldn't be doing that to their kids after the alleged incidents that occurred here at Miramonte School.
And Jacqueline, aren't people angry? I mean, aren't you angry?
I'm surprised that this happened for so long and no one really said anything. I know that I talked to a few parents and they said they would send out letters saying that a teacher was suspended or a teacher was on administrative leave, but they really didn't know what was happening until everything came out, and they're more upset because they found out about what was going on here in the school through the news. The district or the school never notified them until the news organizations reported on this case. So they're just outraged, and they're more outraged,
yes,
especially because their children are being affected. Yesterday, we had a chance to see some of these children. They were crying. They just don't understand what's going on. They've gone through a drastic change. Their teachers are not here. They've spent almost a year with them, and suddenly their teacher's gone. So they're asking what's going on here in the school, and a lot of the parents say they don't know what to tell their children, especially because it involves abuse.
Thanks, Jacqueline. I really appreciate that report and those insights. So, Keith, you're representing three of these kids. she brings up some really interesting insights here. Now, evidently, it's the news media that reported these parents, these poor parents, what had gone on at their kid's school. You say in 2008, it was the public that actually blew the lid off of that case you were investigating as well.
Well, incidentally, it's the public that's blown the lid off both cases. In the 2008 case, where there was a teacher by the name of Ricardo Guevara, who was subsequently prosecuted and is currently serving 15 years to life.
That was the case where a parent actually witnessed him abusing the kid?
That's correct.
Now, did any of those cultural issues intervene there too, where they thought, oh, maybe they're just hugging, being, you know, we just heard Jacqueline say that hugging and close physical contact, not unusual in that culture?
Well, I can't really speak to that, Doctor, but what I can say is that in 2008, this individual, Ricardo Guevara, who was a teacher, he as his pedophilia waned onto the students, he went out, searched for, and targeted young kindergarten female students who were the product of a single-parent home, a mother, a fatherless home.
He cultivated the perfect victim for his acts. He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
He also knew what he was doing by going to Miramonte School, evidently, because it looks like that's an environment where you know, pedophiles are welcome. It's like teachers apply, pedophiles especially.
Look, they want us to believe not that lightning has struck once, not twice, but 3 or 4 times in a 4-year period. It's simply outrageous to believe.
There's got to be something more going on endemically in at least the administration, if not the LA Unified, who should have been. They were asleep at the wheel, right?
Doc, where there's smoke, there's fire. This thing's going to get bigger before it gets smaller.
Oh, that's a big deal. Let's look at this love letter that the mother of an 11-year-old saw. Here it is. She found it from a teacher's aide. She thankfully told school officials and law enforcement. This was, I guess this was in 2009. Again, were you aware of this one? A love letter in 2009, something that was it reported?
Not to our knowledge. It all came out as a result of this.
All right, here's the love letter. It said in part, quote, "When you get close to me, even if you give me the chills, I like that. Don't tell anybody about this. Read the letter and throw it away. I don't want your mom or brother to find it." Oh my God, I feel like I'm going to have nausea. If I don't throw up today, it's going to be a miracle. You know what I mean? This is, and these poor people put the trust in the school. It almost feels like there was somebody inside the school that knew something, right? Doesn't it feel like a culture of silence?
Doctor, I mean, this goes back.
How can this go on so long, since 2008, 2009, and now a huge problem with the guy? He's like almost in the business of taking pictures of kids.
And that's yet to be seen, where these pictures went after he took them. We know that there are hundreds of pictures taken. We know that there are hundreds of pictures that were categorized and cataloged. We don't know what was done with those pictures after the catalog
where they all went. What do the parents of the kids you represent want?
Well, one, they want to ensure that this never happens again.
Yeah.
To the extent that they can do that, we're going to try. 2, they want to make sure that their children are taken care of. We've seen drastic differences in the behavior of their children. Everything from catastrophic weight gain, diminishing grades in school, depression, anxiety,
all signs of trauma.
nightmares.
Trauma. This is very sad. They need help. I hope. Are they getting help to any of the kids who asked for it out there?
Most recently.
They have been.
Only very, very recently, within the last week or so, since a civilian. It took a very brave 18, 19-year-old kid who was processing photographs at CVS to blow the lid off this entire investigation that the Los Angeles Unified School District should have seen coming.
I need to talk to that kid and thank him or her. Was it a male or female? Do we know?
We don't know.
We got to find that person.